Boop. I'm gonna start recording right now. All right. So yeah. So hi everyone. Welcome to the Miyamaker intro. Um, Thanks again for showing up, everyone who did. For those of you who are new, I'm Mia God. This is the Miyamaker Collective. Um, we originally started with a token called the Black Hearted Cyber Angel Baby token, which was an experiment that grew out of this bro coin mechanism that the Rad Bros had, which was where they did for the first hour, they only allowed people who held Milady's, Remilios, Schizo posters, and Rad Bros to buy and sell the token. And that kind of inspired me to create a token that did that all the time and did it. And I included, like we have like 47 different collections in the token right now. The token experiment kind of went, it didn't go as planned. There wasn't really much of a plan, so I can't really like say that it, was good or bad, but it was a lot. I gained a lot of experience. And I think the one thing that it did was it kind of garnered a good amount of activity and hype. And there's a lot of devs who came together specifically from the Milady community, because that's kind of, like where this project was like born out of. And and yeah, and like we originally came together for a bunch of kind of like, just kind of like help me build because I was, already moving on to like trying to build like kind of like a V2 system. And then what happened was it ended up turning into this project around MiyaMints. So if you haven't already heard, MiyaMints is a protocol that allows people to launch their own NFTs, but with a catch, and that catch is that we force the creators to basically donate and lock a certain amount of their mint fees into the NFTX liquidity pools of any collection that has one on NFTX. We built this kind of out of the um, pretty much it's not just the recent kind of, it's interesting because there's been a lot of recent talk around derivatives and, like them not providing liquidity back or just having to do it trustlessly. I mean, I think it was the Cake World Order who just gave everybody their money back. Um, so like there's, I think, a really interesting need in the market for something like this. But we also give people the option to, still earn from their NFT collections. So what we do is we give people basically an option to choose. It's like a sliding scale between 5% and 100%, which amount of the mint funds they want to go towards, a certain collection's NFTX liquidity. Moving forward, like, we have a few other features that aren't, integrated yet that we'd like, thinking about doing for like a V2, but, kind of no promises on anything on that front. Um, but yeah, I'd also like to announce that we've um, recently integrated with the Milady Bootcamp, and it's been a bit. We've basically doubled our Discord size in like the last 2 days, which I think is a really positive. I think we've got a lot of new people who are, coming with the motive of learning, which is really cool because it's kind of refreshed that attitude that I had early on, which is I really wanted this to be a community of, of talented people who are constantly teaching each other stuff. I think that's something that we were early on and have kind of fostered here. And that's why moving forward, we'll be having classes, taught by pretty much anybody who wants to hop up on stage and talk about things. I don't, and one of the main ideas is that, we don't have to stick to the crypto space. I think there's been, we can always like tie it into the crypto space, but I think that there's a lot of, like I said, like talented people who have an expertise in fields that are outside. of just crypto stuff. For example, there's a lot of there's like artists here, musicians, um, three like, and when I say artists, there's very different, all different types of multimedia. We have a lot of really cool like front end developers, like who are extremely capable. Um, some people who are, working even within just the crypto space, like 10x, for example, who just hopped in. What's up? Like, we have like, there's a lot of founders already within this Discord who have the opportunity to kind of like, have this, treat this Discord as a stage in order to like teach kind of whatever they want. Even the first class I ever held in Milady Bootcamp was basically me talking about my journey in the crypto the last basically 4 years of my life, and then it also, for the first half, and explaining it throughout like my journey in the code essentially, and how I started just like trying to fork other people's code and interact with it, and then ultimately start building my own to start doing like whatever I wanted essentially, and all the steps along the way that got me there. Um, so yeah, so moving forward, I mean, hopefully we see like this is a great turnout. If we see like turnouts like this, it'll be really awesome. But um, yeah, we have one for tomorrow with Cool Skull, who's an extremely talented artist. For those of you who've seen him work, it's pretty fun to watch. He works extremely quickly on his iPad and can create really beautiful things rapidly. And he'll be teaching like techniques to other people, different software. And honestly, I think he's just gonna have he has a plethora of information that is he's gonna share with us, and he's already showed interest in like having multiple classes, because one of the things I think that I would like to do is to build a like a database, like a recorded database of these classes for people to use as references, and then also form like these subjects kind of out of the classes, right? And then basically we can have like a lot of 101s, right? That are just like simple like tutorials, information. I mean, one of the people who reached out was the Meta is okay. Really, really cool person, has been really friendly to me over the last few weeks, and basically was like, I could teach just like a simple like early introduction to crypto hygiene, like good like practices for like what to do with like how to use like a cold wallet, or just like simple stuff like that. And I don't think everybody needs to have those certain intros, because the one class that he also showed interest in speaking was or teaching was they do a lot of sentiment analysis and narrative analysis, and I think that like like I said, like it doesn't need to be crypto related. Like I'll probably be building bots and doing stuff like that through the crypto, like through in the future. But yeah, I think like we also have another like cool one thing that is all another class that cool also like mentioned was to have like like teaching people how to use like and build their own DAWs, which are like some musical thing. I forget what they're actually. I gotta Google it. Digital audio workstation. So like yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of different like fields of expertise that we have in here, and the more I think that we can kind of muster up like that energy of we're like we want people to come up here and talk, like the more that I think we'll get people to do so. Um, yeah, I think there's a few different types of classes we can have too. There's like basically skill-based courses, like those a lot like kind of like what I do with the Bonkler with the live exercises, as well as like a live walkthrough of a finished piece of like code. And then as well as like kind of like the original talk I gave, which was just a concept based presentation. I talked about MakerDAO, Chainlink, kind of like the projects that I got into early and was using and how I used them, and then went into like a few different scripts that I built. But yeah, I also think that we should also have mandatory Q&A sessions. I like also having these, like I said earlier, classes in the voice chat instead of in the classroom, just because it makes it a lot easier. But um, yeah, I think one of the things about the Miyamaker Collective, quote unquote, is that the like kind of like the original token experiment. I do try to have this attitude and push everyone towards this attitude of like launching the coolest ideas as fast as we can. Um, it's number one, it's a good strategy to have, but number two, I think it tests like the team and their abilities to actually create. And ultimately, what I really like for this, community to do, and it's already done, is be a resource for anybody who's trying to build. So we've actually had like three or four different teams come together and go on and build different projects from people, that they just met in this Discord over the last like few months. So fostering that is really kind of important to me. Is just like build, 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 and like not say like fuck you the consequences, but ultimately like I I wrote about this in the original like Mia paper is like I'd always hesitated for like this, that, or the other of why I should or shouldn't build something, or not just should build it, but launch things. And I think like if you're it depends on like what the project you built, right? It depends on like what you launch, which what you're trying to launch, and the inspiration for it, and the meaning behind it, and the future implications of it. I think, are like all things to consider. But dude, just launching shit is just it's one of the things that make a decentralized network so cool. So like I don't know, like a lot of the people who are in the Mia squad know me as like just dude, just let's just act. Like let's not so much like let's not like let's think and do and act like with purpose, but let's just move quickly. Um, yeah, so like this place is like, it's it's built to foster, art, like I said, artists, software like developers, um, degens, all types of crypto autists, um, and even like one thing that I'd like to do in the future is get more. I mean, we have a decent amount of whales and OGs in here, which is really fucking cool. But I think like I've been putting in a lot of effort into like building up a strategy for just our socials and content and how we want to kind of grow our quote unquote brand. Um, because there are also just a lot of people that were in here early from my own network, that are like of the corporate VC bro, like archetype. So like I think, build, like I said, like back to that, like fostering people building shit. Like I think if we can like come up with some really cool ideas and even build some cool projects, like there's already a decent amount of potentially interested parties who are, who are present. And then the final person I'd like to get in here is Vitalik Buterin, but that's just my own thing. One note I think to think of about like the Mia Collective is Mia Maker Collective is that it's like we're just kind of like an on-chain dev team, and it's pretty much we're open. Like I had somebody hit me up about like merging projects the other day, and I was just like, I don't really know what there is to merge with. It's already just like we have an open forum. People can come in, share their ideas. We basically grind them out and make and decide whether or not to move forward with them. And yeah, I mean, early on we had a lot of like originally when we had our first big inflow, we had a lot of like ideas floating around, and I would like, and now that we have a lot of fresh blood, so to speak, I think like having people just like share their ideas, because one of the things that is cool is when you share your ideas, you actually might find some people who want to help you, and then you can build some cool shit. Um, But yeah, there's also this opportunity for payment for what we've been doing. If you guys go and look at the bounty channel under the build section, you'll see I have the latest pin tweet or the pin message is these tasks basically that encompass all of um, what we need in order to like be successful moving forward. Right now, we actually have a few people who are in under one on development of the React and TypeScript and WagMe apps. We already have a few people working on that, which is really fucking cool. But I'd love to have even more front end developers. One of the things that I'm trying to do is teach myself more about those libraries and be able to actually like teach people how to build their own application on the Mia OS. That way, we have like basically created now a platform for people to build whatever they want off of our core system or whatever. I think it's a pretty good idea. But yeah, there's also a few ideas. Like for one, I think having a task posting board would be really cool. Another idea that I just had before this that isn't up there would be to be able to have like streaming and chat so that way we could actually host these sessions on the website. I think that'd be pretty cool. It would cost us a little bit of money on the server side, but I think it'd be worth it. Um, yeah, so B, we have already somebody working on that, which is pretty cool. But if anybody wants to kind of help with the design of it, you're more than welcome to hop on. I can put you in touch with the person who's building it. Yeah, D, we have shout out Krauser yeah, for giving us this library that like, we could use as like a music player. And this actually ties down into the art one number four, the Winamp skin. So yeah, having like a cool design for a Winamp skin on this music player is another app idea. So we have like smart contract work that's pretty much, like I said, based on project by project basis. Depends on the idea. There's actually today, which is pretty cool, is we've finalized the architecture for the ERCM and it's in the MiyaMints template. So we're, extremely close to launching that and moving on to our next project. What that project actually is still very much up in the air. There's been a handful of ideas thrown around, but now that we have a lot of activity and people coming in, like I'd really like to have an open brainstorming session or a forum where people could share ideas, and I could definitely share at least a dozen. Um, and then, honestly, this is just a shout out to anybody who wants to make money. Like, basically, I build these bots. I've been teaming up with different people to build even more sophisticated bots. If anyone has an idea around an alpha strategy, if you share it and we build it, basically, you can earn for that. Um, and that's something I've been doing my whole career in crypto is basically sourcing alpha and then rewarding people for that, right? So also under art, there's a 3D asset idea around creating kind of like our Clippy. We have like a sticky note right now, but it'd be cool if we had a little like Mia three-head Clippy. Um, I think we maybe have somebody who, yeah, I mean, Cool School, I think actually said he might be able to do that one, but it's just to give people also an idea of the task that like we could have. I mean, the one thing about the development, like one C is like anyone can come in with an idea, and if it's good enough, like you can get paid. And the way it works is I like to kind of will obviously negotiate rates. And that'll be based on like speed and experience. So obviously, if you've done something before and can give me like an estimation about how much time it'll take, like hourly, then for me, I can basically give you a certain rate, and at like which I think is pretty market neutral. It's actually probably I'd say fair. Um, But yeah, it depends on, like I said, experience and the ability for you to work quickly. And that kind of goes for both the art side and the development side. But with the art side, I'm much less experienced, I think, in managing art projects and much more experienced in managing like DeFi. So yeah, like one of the things that I would like to do is kind of up our socials. We have, kind of a need for this new content because I'll look at the old, I just look personally, I look at the old website, I look at the old banners, and it's pretty much the original launch stuff. So having a refresh on that would be really good. I also think having like short form content that's like Mia um, focused would be worth something investing in, and expanding that not just on Twitter but like Instagram and TikTok. Um, and then on the business side of things, we have a few people already who I've spoken with on both these fronts, but um, they're definitely still open, and it's difficult to do these things because honestly, these are like, probably fully paid positions, but we don't have like, like the ability to pay people full rate, full time jobs. We have the ability to pay people like a project task based amount. Um, One thing that's actually pretty interesting is somebody who recently did some work is actually uh, it's like I'm excited about it is going to be accepting Mia. So if you want to be paid in Mia, ETH, or pretty much any other token, just let me know and that I can work with you on that front. But yeah, having like basically help on the social media side, um, its strategy, um, yeah, and it would be done on like a trial by trial basis. Probably just a few weeks at a time. That's what I've done in the past. Community management and partnerships. It's kind of a call to arms for everyone to become more. I don't know, active, not active, but just like shout out Mia. And because I think one thing is, it's difficult because of the path we've had, which is we had a lot of hype early on, and, we got fudded, and then we kind of got footed again, and it's been a little bit of like a soft climb back up. But I do think ramping up our, partnerships, quote unquote, with future NFT projects who are going to want to mint on MiyaMints, um, use different future protocols or have ideas that they would like to build. Like I said earlier, there was a team who came to me and was like, "We want to merge," and I was just like, "Just send everybody over. We'll have a jam session. Like, let's see what you guys are trying to build, and we'll see what we're trying to build, and we'll see where we overlap." Because what I would like for Mia, the collective on its own to become is kind of like a small network of teams, right? So ideally, we can have people branch off, a project manager, a front end, a smart contract, and like a social person potentially. Depending on, not really sure how that like whole structure pans out, but basically having small teams of really efficient, like groups of people who've worked together before and have experience working together before, similar to the team that's been building MiyaMints, right? Um, I think it's been like a journey in kind of learning how to work together, but also you know seeing how to work through adversity when things pop up. That's also just like having that with other people is a core, I think, experience towards success. Um, but yeah, other than that, I think I'm going to open up the floor to anybody who has questions. Um, but yeah, thanks for hopping in. Like I said, like I'm really here to, like I said, foster just like a build first type of community. I know it sounds so corny, but at the same time, those are the ones that I've been a part of that have like come from nothing to grow into really cool shit. So that's what I would love for this to happen, for me and Maker to become. So if anyone has any questions, and if you're not comfortable talking, feel free to type in chat. Also, if any Mia Maker people want to give their own perspective on what we've built here, I think that'd be really valuable.
What's up, man? I've looked at the Miyamaker OS beta, I think, or whatever you guys have put out already. But I'm more interested in hearing about like the launching platform that you were just speaking about.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so the Mia OS right now, what's up, Stux? Um, the Mia OS website we put out is just a it's just a base. It's not really functional right now. You can connect your wallet, but other than that, there's not much else. Um, but yeah, but you can see on the website that there's an app called like MiyaMints.exe, right? And that's going to be our like launch pad. So it'll be similar to like the scatter launch pad where you'll input the name, the base URI, um, all the regular inputs you would for the just a regular ERC 721 launch, but with a few added extra ones. One being the collection that you're going to point the liquidity at, and there like one thing that we like need to stress is that there needs to be an existing liquidity pool, um, in order for you to take advantage of the future of the functions that allow you to manage it. But basically, so you pick a collection that you want to point liquidity to. You pick the percentage, that 5 to 100% that you want, actually directed from the mint fees, and then you launch, and then that's it, right? And then so now you have what happens is you basically send the transaction, it launches the contract, and then we have, an interface as well under development that will allow you to then, basically call these different functions that you can then tell, the liquidity, like how you want to add liquidity, basically, whether it's just like, just simply, um, supplying ETH, or buying NFTX tokens and supplying NFTX tokens and ETH, um, or just buying NFTX tokens and supplying them there. One thing we were working on was the purchasing of NFTs and like floor buying, and like quote unquote floor sweeping, and that's also something that I believe Scatter is working with Vermilia on. It's just kind of a difficult problem, and we felt like what we have is good enough as like a V1 to launch, because it does, kind of, like I said, fill that need for, you know, trustlessly, you know, minting a collection that's going to be adding liquidity back, into, you know, uh, the, the system, so to speak.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right. I gotta take a work call. Thanks for having us here, though, and I'll be around. I'll see what's up.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks
All
for
right,
hopping
take it
back
easy.
in.
Yep.
I got you up too. Sounds cool. I'll check you guys later.
All right. Adios, bro.
Peace.
But yeah, Adami, did you want to say something?
No, I before he left, I actually wanted to make a couple other comments on the MiyaMints platform and what our expectations are for it, and also leading into other ideas that we are hoping to incorporate into the Mia OS. But he just kind of said he had to go. Um, but regardless of that, I mean, I guess I could just kind of continue regardless. I really do believe that MiyaMints is a way for Miya as a whole to get a lot of input and a lot of value from the community, like contribution wise, in terms of creators, actual art creators, looking for a way to substantiate themselves as, I guess, non-grifts in whatever ecosystem they want to align themselves with. I know like Miya is a, I guess, a Remilia, aligned project, but I mean, you could really, use it as a way to substantiate yourself in any community. And it's really, one of a kind, the first of its kind. And we believe that what we're doing and what we're going to be adding to the OS will substantiate Mia as, a protocol that you guys will be returning to and using, often, as you utilize, different Web3 different Web3, initiatives and exploits and things of that nature. So we really want to expand our our base of collaborators and contributors, and we're really hoping to get more artists and developers involved and see if anyone is interested in actually like releasing on the platform. Because it is a way, I know, in terms of like actual liquidity, some people might be hesitant to pull the trigger depending on some of how the internal functions might actually work out for them. But if it's something that you might be interested in, it will definitely help your project stand out in a very unique way as opposed to a lot of the other projects that are releasing on other platforms and really don't have any driving force behind them, and also don't have any incentive besides just saying, hey, I'm just another deriv, or I'm just another I guess grift or whatever. Like this kind of sets you apart from being that. You directly align yourself with the Remilia community with a novel project with novel incentives that can expand. And so it is really lucrative to be involved, I would say, um, from that standpoint. And that's kind of our goal. That's kind of what we're hoping to achieve with the launch of this platform.
Um, are there, I have a question for the crowd. Is there anything that people are interested, like what are people most interested in learning about? Um, like I can continue to like I think continuing to build scripts is cool. And what's up, Mole? Shout out, Mole. Um, yeah, like
Uh,
I think I. Oh, what's up?
so I just wanted to say that what I would like to learn is smart contract development mostly, maybe touch a bit on the front end part, so like building a website for a protocol, but mostly the smart contract side.
Yeah, I think we definitely have people who can like give. I think what's a powerful thing to do is run through exercises of like building something live. Um, and I think we do have like I said, people who are building you know within our stack apps on the Mi OS as well as smart contracts. So that's noted.
Yeah, I want to add that another great thing for learning and building together is that we are doing most of this stuff in the open. All the contracts that Zodom is building for RC721M are open source. The front end is open source. So I encourage you to check it out maybe. And we will probably do some other sessions going through the front end and adding more and more functionality as time goes on and as ideas come up. But for now, it's a great starting point to start getting some insight about what's a work process and how you can integrate yourself into it.
Yeah, I think
Okay, thank you.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I
thank
just wanted to say that, yeah, thank you. I will just try to read more, maybe talk with some people when I have a bit more maybe experience and confidence that I can help you in any way.
yeah, I think even just being present when people are building in the open, and asking questions if you have them is a great way to just be involved. We like Yeah, I think having live coding sessions, especially when we're building things for Mia, is cool because it's showing people that just not only like obviously how to do it right, what code to use, but the process of building, which is a good thing to understand that, you're basically failing your whole way until you actually make it work. So yeah, just watching people and their flow and like Krauser was saying, having like a, a process for people um, to use and integrate is, I think, something that will be fun to teach to other people.
Okay,
Um,
then thank you. I will definitely try to like stick around and find my way around here.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I think having, like I said, we will have a lot of crypto focused events. I'll definitely be building stuff that's, all crypto. Whether that's front end smart contract or bots. Like really, that's what I like to do is I like to build bots. Um, or building, bots that use like unique smart contracts to do cool shit. It's fun. Um, but yeah, I guess is like yeah, for sure, Mo. I know you. Yeah, Mo. Guys, Mo was one of the Mo was the person who built their own script, um, kind of using what I had taught in um, the Bonker bots classes. So, and then had a successful transaction go through. So, like the fun part about I think the classes that I really want to have is they're pretty useful. Um, so yeah, like um, I guess is there anything else that people are like trying to learn? Like I said, we could have some trading sentiment analysis classes too. I know somebody was trying to do that. I know Ozzy's done stuff like that too in the past. And he's in here and will probably be hopefully giving classes when he has time.
I think like the live coding is a really good idea, and I would also like appreciate uh, lessons on just everything coding, like smart contracts, Solidity, even front end, or like maybe it's a bit bad right now, but like Viper even. And what I also think is interesting, maybe like creation of AI art with like Stable
Yeah,
Diffusion and stuff like that. If someone is good at that, and also one more thing. I feel like there's so many protocols, and sometimes it's really like hard to keep up with them. And maybe we can have sessions where people like explain, for example, like how NFTX works or whatever. Because I mean, of course, you can like go and read for it yourself, but sometimes maybe it's easier if someone that's already experienced explains
yeah,
it from their
yeah.
perspective.
I like that like concept based walkthrough of like yeah, like even walking through Maker would be a freaking
Yeah,
like like we might need a couple classes, like we might need two classes for that one, but it still would be a good exercise to number one do, but then also have a like I said a reference point that for anybody later on who comes in can just kind of go and see it for themselves. I do think one thing that I have an idea around that would be cool is to like Miyagate all of this information. So like, you know, basically only allow people who have the Mia token to access it. I think there's a protocol that I know of that would make this possible pretty easily, but um, I don't know. How does everybody feel about that? Cool, not cool, thumbs up.
Would you like need a certain amount, or how do you imagine
Uh,
it?
I don't know. I don't think amount really. I don't think it would be an amount really. I think we might even like have. I think what I could do is have like attend a certain amount of classes. Oh, is anybody in here not? I think all you guys are. You're all Mia pilled. But basically, yeah, attend a certain amount of classes or do something, and then you can earn. Oh, what's up, Ducky? You're gonna be Mia pilled. Um, but yeah, I think like giving people like because we do have like I have basically 15 to 20% of the token allocation that can be used for community incentives. Um, so even just having like a simple like like if you get like 10 to 20 Mia, like you're good. Like I don't think it needs to be a super, but maybe we do have classes that are like it's kind of like a more esoteric like knowledge base, where it's like super duper pop punk gas efficient tricks, right? And then you need like I don't know, not like an egregious amount more either. Everything's like affordable, but like maybe like it's now $50 instead of like 20, you know, something like that. I think it's an interesting structure to have. What's up, Ozzy?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. I think I don't know. I like both ideas, like rewarding participation and stuff like that, but also like token getting it also makes sense, I think.
Yeah, how do you have? I guess that's kind of a catch 22. How do you have a? I guess you have like you have like open sessions, right? You have like closed sessions, open sessions. That's how you do
Yeah.
it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I shout out Ozzy really for putting that together. I remember like I found it a few days after. I think there was like had been a few classes, and I was like, this is kind of what I was trying to build originally in here, but at the same time, we were like building a protocol and building like kind of our community as well. So it didn't really pan out as the way I wanted it to. But now that we've kind of built on that front, I think having this is kind of just like a really kind of like a mutually beneficial thing because it, it creates like a sense of like want to check in to the Miya Heaven, right? Oh, thanks for that, Ducky. All right. Yeah, the first two Bonku classes are kind of rough watches for me, rewatches for me, just because I like was clearly struggling. But I think it's good to see people struggle at the same time because you can kind of see like how they respond um, and figure it out. But yeah, you guys should come to the. I'm gonna say this again. Shout out, Cool Skull. You guys should come to the art class tomorrow. It's gonna be really. I mean, it's just fun to watch him create. Um, but yeah, um, yeah. For those of you who kind of just showed up, really for Ozzy. I'm gonna. What my plan is to have kind of like the ability for anybody to kind of teach a class, and basically, like everybody kind of gets one, kind of that attitude, where you can kind of come up and you don't really have to relate it to crypto stuff. Like I'm sure we'll have, the focus will be like, front end stuff, smart contracts and like building bots, but, and like even like, building like art, will probably be the main core, but I think also having people come in and talk about like things that are, just as important. Like I think that one that you had on mental health, like I'm not sure if you guys actually ended up holding that one, but I thought that was a really good idea. Um, just to kind of like remind people how to how to manage the stresses of crypto and being in this industry like 24/7, right? How to remind yourself to get sleep. Stuff like simple stuff like that I think is just like an it's that's a bet like that's a it's a beneficial, I think it's a beneficial way to spend your time. I was just trying to like talk about that, think about it, learn about it. And I also like having the classes a little bit more in the voice chat. I feel like as long as people are cordial, right? Nobody's trying to talk over the person who's running the class. Like, it creates the ability to, to just to have active engagement outside of the chat. But I think when you're doing like a demonstration, the classroom is actually really good, useful for that. But this one I wanted to hold in the VC because it's more of an open forum. But yeah, so we have an art class tomorrow. There's been somebody who reached out who is interested in doing um, a sentiment analysis and like trading them through the narratives class. I think that would be pretty cool. Um, but like I said, it's kind of an open like this is an open forum for anybody to kind of hop up here. Um, so if anybody's actually interested in either A, teaching a class, or B, is looking for something to learn about, um, I think what I'll do is, uh, I guess just like share it in school. I guess coding school we can change to like something else. But yeah, well, I think the idea is to like, have an ability for people to, you know, basically influence what they want to learn about. Um, I guess does anybody have any other questions or concerns or want to talk more about Miyamaker? Oh, what's up, Gundalo? Um, yeah, just to recap, we kind of went over what Miyamaker is, how it started, the MiyaMints platform, what that is, uh, kind of our strategy for building things in the future, which has been the same strategy as that we used, kind of like our culture. And then also touched on how we are going to integrate the boot camp, um, where now it's pretty much trying to create an open forum for anyone to kind of come up here and you know give a talk or walk through an exercise or pretty much kind of the time is yours to either discuss or present um, a concept or a piece of code or an art technique or whatever, um, that that you're kind of proud, you're either you're proud of or you want to share, or also giving people the ability to you know pick kind of the content that they would like to learn more about. There's obviously a high demand for smart contract development classes. I think Web3 front end and connecting them to smart contracts is another in demand, like skill based class that we can that people are going to be want to have. And um, yeah, like I'm not super perfect, like I can do them, like I've done worked with them, but it'd take a lot of time for me to build them. It wouldn't take time. It would just take a lot of yeah, it would take a lot of time for me to build them in a classroom environment. So I'm gonna stick to building bots and then doing stuff that I know that I can build quickly. But we definitely have people in here who are capable of, um, you know, teaching people on those core subjects.
Hello,
Hello.
how's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's a Monday.
That's good.
How are you doing?
No, yeah, so I was running into some issue with the Angelic Labs contract because I had a invite list public that wasn't supposed to be public, and someone minted 700 NFTs, spending like point three an ETH just to mint them. So yeah, so I had to redeploy everything, had to set up everything again. So now I
Oh,
am available. Yeah,
oh,
we're starting minting in 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's just basically continuing the previous mint of Conspiracy Lady, but just with a different name, like completely rebranded and shit. But yeah, man, I'm glad some of the people from Milady Bootcamp are here. I really do appreciate it because I think they will be think it would be a better fit for them to just join Miya Heaven instead of just staying in the Milady Bootcamp, which was like dead as fuck because we had almost 600 people in it and nobody was saying shit. The the classes or the courses we did, like barely even like 10, maybe 10, 15 people in the classes. Wasn't really much. Like the engagement was pretty down, so I thought I'll just move on with this. Let the people move over to Miya Heaven instead of just slacking around in the other Discord server. But I think, I mean, it was fun while it lasted, but I do not have the capacity anymore to teach more stuff. And I think with me struggling to get new teachers on board, it was really tough for me to handle all of this on my own. And I was literally worrying about it daily. I was thinking about, oh, how can I, what can I put out today? Like, when can I put out another class? Again, so the people who are literally waiting for us to drop something don't have to wait any longer. But now it's just getting tough with the time, especially with Angelic Labs. We're working every day on this, and it's not just us. Like, there are two big parties involved in this, and I do not want to fade this. So my all my energy goes to that. So yeah, that's essentially the reason why Milady Bootcamp is shutting down. It's just I don't have any funds. Teachers are not teaching for free. Like some of them would, but like it's not going to be the type of quality that I was aiming for because I feel like I really did take my time to answer questions, to go through things. And sometimes we had classes going like for 3-4 hours, people listening to me solving cases and stuff. And I think Miya was the only one who was willing to do it for free and who was willing to do it like even recording the sessions and stuff, you know what I mean? So I really do appreciate it, Miya. That's why I wanted to help you a little bit with the Miya Heaven because I think I built something amazing on the Milady Bootcamp Discord server. I think, you have to get 600 people on there first, right? But we made it, and I think it's now the best time to basically get everyone to move over to this one, and I think they will be treated, yeah, pretty good here. I feel the energy, I feel the love, I feel everything. And when I do have the time, we should maybe hop on Milady Craft one day and build like a Milady Bootcamp town. I don't know, just something fun because this is what I liked about Miya Heaven. We're like. I mean, you guys are not only like teaching each other stuff, building some cool stuff because you obviously showed me some stuff, but like you guys are also having fun building Bonkler City and stuff. It's very cool. And Adami God is also in here, who literally gave me a shit ton of guns in Miladycraft. I appreciate that too. Um, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Very cool community, and it would be only right to basically merge them and have those who were who were actively involved in Milady Bootcamp just transfer over and have more fun here because I feel like this is a more fun community. And yeah, that's the reason for the merger.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. it's kind of different. Like I said, it's hard to get people to like do things without incentives. Like they really have to align. Um, but I think we do have some core Mia people who like align with Mia Maker, and they're definitely willing to hop in and give like whether it be even just like 30 minutes of their time just to show people something that they've built. Um, I think it's powerful because when you record it too and you create like a database of all this like really useful information, like I think it's like a value add that's beyond just like the financial. Um, so yeah, like it's funny because I didn't think of it until you kind of like posed the question or posed the offer with me to merge them, and I do think it's like it's actually a really mutually beneficial like partnership in a way where like we do have like everyone in here like who already is part of the Mia Maker community is really active in terms of like wanting to build new stuff, create new projects, and like grow their skills. Um, so like yeah, like I guess hosting more events where people kind of show off their skills is just a pretty cool thing. And I kept doing it because I thought it was a really good way for I guess people to get to know me as like Mia God, but also to kind of share that like I guess culture of Mia Maker where it's like we build really cool stuff and then like show other people how to do it as well. Um, because that's pretty much like I guess one of the cool ways that like I learned how to like build all this cool stuff was hopping in like dev communities early on and then just engaging with them and asking questions and like I've never had anybody tell me no or like I'm not gonna try to help you with this, right? Because ultimately when you go in and you're asking questions about somebody's code that they've built in like this industry in this space, like it's exciting as the builder or as like the person who created it because it means like people are excited about and actively using your creation. So you're like obviously incentivized to help them. So it's yeah, I think like I said, it's a match made in heaven, a match made in Miya Heaven.
That is true. I agree with that. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off again because I have to batch mint a shit ton of NFTs and airdrop them. Gas fees are like hella high right now. It's at
Yeah, they are.
0.77 for me. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy Mia Maker. I hope you enjoy the space. There are a few people in here from the boot camp. I think a lot of people joined like after like today and yesterday. A lot of people joined, right? But yeah, I hope those classes will be a little bit more crowded, especially when I have the time to host classes again. I'm still waiting for my internet connection to be stable again, and then I'll be good to go to host some classes again once I have the time. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off, guys. I appreciate you being here, and Mia, I'll talk to you later via DM. Want to show you some stuff. All right, guys. Take care. See ya, and enjoy this one. Have a good night.
Thanks, Ozzy.
Good night, man.
See ya.
Um, I just had a thought, but I lost it. Yeah, I lost my thought. Lost my train of thought. Um, I don't know. How's everybody's day?